Hello, my friends. At the end of every year, the last couple years, I've been doing this assessment with my channel members where I talk about the things that I feel like I've accomplished in the year or how I feel about the content that I've made and everything we've done with the membership and just like a little thank you video. And last year I tacked on my goals. I like to have a little list to check off throughout the year, just things that I'm already planning on doing. I don't feel like I make a lot of lofty goals. It's just a list of things that I assume I'm going to do, and then I can assess it at the end of the year and go, look, I did all these things. The thing is, because I didn't make it public to everyone, I kind of forgot this existed. In fact, it was a couple months ago, somebody reminded me that this was a thing because I was reading a romance book and one of my besties commented and they said, I thought you weren't reading romance this year. That was one of your goals. And I was like, that was one of my goals? No, that was the year before. Wasn't that the year before? Apparently at the beginning of this year, I said I was gonna read less contemporary romance. So yeah, completely forgot about that. And it sparked my memory that I made this video in the first place. That was kind of my hope from what I remember, is without making it public, I wouldn't get people constantly talking about it, and therefore it would be more entertaining for you at the end of the year to see this for the first time. So you have absolutely no expectations, and apparently neither do I, of what is on here. So let's just press play and see if I succeeded at anything. Hello 2026 Kayla. This is your goal list of 25 things that you want to accomplish 25 in 2025. There's video plans, there's reading plans, and there's a little bit of personal stuff. If you don't do all of them, you're gonna be just fine. Okay, Number one is to try out books in videos. Something that I said I wanted to do last year, and I did do, was not commit to a book in a vlog until I've started it, or I just absolutely knew that's what I wanted to do. And I think I paid attention to that more at the beginning of the year, not so much later. Yeah, okay, so did I do that? I think I did. There were a couple specific videos that I remember doing where as I was reading the books, I was like, this is not a good idea. I'm gonna move on to something else. I think it was specifically the videos where like the goal of the video was for me to read whatever I wanted. That's when I did that more so than any time else. But I do remember DNFing quite a few things in vlogs. Like I remember some bug vlogs I abandoned. I remember the sentient romance ones. I abandoned something in that vlog. And people have told me that they like seeing me DNF. And I've taken that seriously because I guess it's good for you to know why I might have not finished something to help you decide whether or not you want to read it. I DNF'd a lot outside of vlogs. Like I didn't vlog What Hunger or Hungerstone or Dungeon Crawler Carl. Those are 3 books that I abandoned that even though people loved, I gave up on. So I'm proud of myself for that. I think I could DNF even more. Number 2, I want to start a new hobby. I have no idea. Well, actually I have an idea, but I don't necessarily want to say it until I know for sure that it's something that I would be good at, or I would want to share my progress with at the end of the year. Okay, it's so easy at the beginning of the year to have goals, right? Especially for me in December, I'm wrapping up a lot of things. I'm posting like 20 videos in 30 days, and then January just feels like a fresh start. And a lot of us start hobbies and start like our new lifestyles every January. And then life slowly gets back at me and pushes my hobbies out the window. I think because I prioritized a lot of other things just in my personal life, the hobby that I specifically started, which I will tell you was learning electric guitar, it kind of fell by the wayside. I do find it difficult to prioritize a hobby that I can't do while listening to audiobooks. Like I really, as I'm learning, I don't want to focus on that. I want to be making content. I want to be doing my job. I want to be doing my hobby. Reading is my hobby, but also my job. And in my free time, if I'm not spending it with my family, I'm just by myself, I want to be making content and reading books. If I'm on my daily walk, I'm listening to an audiobook. If I'm coloring, I'm listening to an audiobook. And I can't listen to a book while I'm learning the guitar. I did try to learn the guitar. The first like 4 months of the year, I was spending, I'm gonna give myself a generous like 30 minutes a day learning something. And really my goal when I said this was to show you at the end of the year, like me playing a song. I can't play a song. I don't think guitar is harder than I thought, but it's not as fun as I thought. because I don't know how to do anything. There are other instruments that I probably could have, like I know how to play the flute, I know how to play the saxophone, I kind of know how to play the drums, but like if you put a drum set or a piano in front of me and I already know how to hit things or touch keys, like I think that that would have been a fun instrument for me to actually learn. But a guitar was so outside of my wheelhouse already. Just learning how to hold it, learning how to strum, learning how to play a chord, like doing anything was so outside of anything I've done before that the barrier for entry was very high for me. I felt more frustrated by my own fingers than I was willing to push through. So yeah, I had very low stamina to keep pushing through that experience. I picked it up a couple more times throughout the year, but I really, yeah, I didn't do that. Okay, but now that I've already failed on the very second one, I feel like it doesn't matter from now. Like I'm not trying to hit every single one, and once I can't check one off, I'm gonna be devastated. Like we've already failed the bingo board, nothing matters anymore. Number 3 is to stop reading romance. I think a way that I can help myself with my ratings and my reading, my average rating for the year, is not to read 25 romances that probably were gonna flop or be a low or average rating. Okay, no, I take it all back. I take it all back. My relationship with romance has had its ups and downs, but I am getting in tune with my romance taste, and I'm glad that I forgot about this goal because I read some 5-star romances this year for the first time in like, was it 2.5 or 3 years? I don't need to read less romance. I just need to be in control of the romance that I read. This video specifically, I'm now remembering, when I was talking to my members, it was about assessing my reading and why my average rating was the lowest it's ever been. And I was trying to pinpoint all of the things that went wrong with me and the books and the video concepts. And I did make some realizations, but this one was incorrect because romance makes me feel alive. I feel more passion towards some of the romance books that I gave a 4.25 this year than for some of the like horror that I gave a 5-star. I'm gonna give myself still like, okay, I'm gonna give it a number, under 10. I'm gonna read less than 10 romances. No way, I said less than 10. I am gonna say, like, I was talking about contemporary romance. I maybe didn't say it there, but I wasn't talking about romantasy. I wasn't talking about books that have a romance plot. I was talking specifically contemporary real life romance because last year they were all terrible. But let's see how close I was to my goal. I think 10 was like a nice number I imagined for myself. What did I, okay, and I'm not counting love stories, okay? I was not talking about love stories like Deep Cuts and The Favorites. Those are love stories to me, and I have always appreciated love stories. I'm talking about like romance. So I don't even want to consider like Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates in here, to be honest. Frisky the Snowman, you might think that's a romance, but no, it's a sentient object erotica. Like that is not what I was talking about. So I didn't read any romance in January or February. I got abducted by aliens. That is a monster fucker romance. That doesn't count, and you can't convince me otherwise. I read 1 romance in March, 1-star romance, and I had a good time with it. I read 2 romances in April, and they were okay. Is Lights Out a romance? Fine, I guess it is. Okay, but I loved it. June, I read 1 that was okay. July, I read Mrs. Nash's Ashes, which I liked. August, I read Forget Me Not. And I guess if we want to count Love of My Afterlife, even though it's a little bit speculative, those were 5 stars. And then When Javi Dumped Mari, which was not a win, I hit the 10 that I said I was going to read. September, it's Romantasy, Oh, The Breakup Pact, and Sweet Heat. We Met Like This was very good. November had Female Fantasy, which was great. And in December, I read Till Summer Do Us Part, which I loved. So I doubled what I said, but I liked them. I'm a lover girl. I didn't accomplish my goal, but I don't care. Number 4 is to complete my own buzzword reading challenge every single month. That's exactly what I did. I can't imagine a world in which I didn't successfully complete this. I did that. This is like vlog idea and reading idea because I want to make a video every month where I complete this challenge. So hopefully I did that. I didn't even have a plan to do that with my mom at that point. Like, I don't think I talked about it. I don't think I thought about it. I don't know when that even happened. Like, I filmed the first one. I had my mom in it. And then I just kept bringing her back because every single month we needed to update on what she was reading. And you guys were invested in what she was up to. So it's now my mom and my monthly reading vlog. And I had a great time. Number 5 is to purchase more like a real person and not like a content creator. Last year, I did what everybody asked me to do, what everyone's been asking me to do for years on this channel, is to get rid of all the books that I don't like. Because for many years, I just wanted to fill out my bookshelves. I wanted it to be everything that I've ever read. That's what I wanted it to represent. And I didn't care about only holding on to books that I loved. And then once my bookshelves were full, and once I had 2 layers of books, and started putting it under your couch, I realized I didn't have room for anything, and why would I then keep the 1 and 2 stars on my shelves if I didn't have to? My shelves now are 4 and 5 stars exclusively. And when I did that and I organized it that way and I got rid of everything, I wasn't thinking forward. I wasn't thinking, okay, well now I need to stop buying books that I'm not gonna like, because it's kind of unfathomable to me now, sitting like next to a laundry basket full of 1 and 2 stars that I'm getting rid of. Some of those I bought brand new full price a month ago and I'm getting rid of at the end of the year. I don't know if I accomplished this. Like, yes, there is a selection of books. There's probably like 2 to 3 every single month, 1 to 3 every single month that I didn't purchase. I just listened to on audio, or I just read the ebook or whatever. And I didn't have to physically have in front of me, and it was fine. Like nothing, like I don't care. It doesn't matter. But for the books that I was going to have to purchase anyway, like as an audiobook, and the price was so similar, like I did just go out and buy some books that before I knew if I would like them or not. Also, a lot of the books that I'm on hauling at the end of the year, I did get for free. So I think I won't know until I fully like do my everything I read this year video to know how many books I'm on hauling, but it does feel less than normal. And there were a lot of situations where I picked up the library book, or I waited for the library book rather than just purchasing it. I even pushed off videos because I was like, I'm gonna wait until I get all the books because I don't want to buy this just because the library isn't gonna have it for the next like 10 weeks. So I did do this, but I should have set like a number, or I should have tracked it in some way. I did still buy too many books, and I am unhauling some. I didn't buy like a normal person, but maybe more in that arena than the last couple years. Number 6, much like I want to start DNFing on camera a little bit more, because I do that behind the scenes, but not to you. I want to say no more to the books that I don't want to add to my TBR. When I'm doing a challenge, an experiment, obviously I want to complete it to its best like possible outcome. When somebody, if I'm doing like, oh, I want to read somebody's favorite books of the year and they list 10 books, I want to read all of them. Okay, so the idea behind this one is like sometimes when I'm doing a video, like my zodiac decides what I read, my Enneagram decides what I read. I see books on the list and I have to pick them. Like I make rules for myself. If this book shows up this many amount of times, I have to read it. Or I have to pick whatever book shows up first when I'm scrolling through Instagram or something. And I think that just this year I did less of those types of videos. I was more in control over my TBR, and I was reading more things that I just genuinely wanted to read. So situations where I had to veto a book in a video, that was a very few and far between experience. You did see it happen in the Goodreads video. I did like make a little fun, silly cheat for myself that I had to earn, but like there was no way I wasn't gonna earn it and be able to delete the YA categories. So yeah, I'm gonna say I did accomplish this, but just kind of by default of what I was actually making this year. Number 7, much like a bingo board is on the screen, I wanna finish the bingo board that I created for like Lullathon a year ago. I completely forgot about it. It's very unlike me to start a little series and then forget that I haven't completed it. So yeah, the reason that I was completing this throughout the year and I was bringing it up multiple times is because I remember mentioning it in this goal video. It was a goal for me this year to go back through here. And I wanted specifically to have vlogs where I was reading all of these things. There might have been a couple at the end of the year that I just, like, I know that I accomplished. Like, you and I both know I read a wedding book this year. I did want it to be in a specific video. Like, after I read Forget Me Not, I wanted to come back. Like, I wanted to do it in a specific vlog about the bingo board. I was even going to do a whole month-long series with the bingo board, but I thought it would get a little bit boring by the end. I know that I accomplished all of these things. And a lot of the books that I read for the prompts, I ended up loving because I know my taste. Getting more and more in tune with my taste every day. Number 8 is a reading goal, and that's to read 3 to 5. I said 3 to 5? Oh my God, this list sounds crazy now. 3 books a month. Yeah, 3 books a month, not on camera. My next thing is restructure my wrap-ups and my quarterly wrap-ups. Okay, so I did do this, and I think that there's a small group of people who might be disappointed that this is the way that I do my wrap-ups. I haven't actually gotten any comments like this, but I've gotten adjacent comments like on other videos and other things of people saying like they feel like I'm recommending things less, then maybe they know less about my reading because I don't do a wrap up every single month where I review all of the books. But I do think it's been beneficial to me being able to point you to videos you might have not realized that I read a book in, something you might have skipped over. And then once I get to my wrap up, I'm like, hey, I read this book and I loved it. And then you go back and you watch the vlog you might have not already, especially when I do videos where I don't put all of the books that I'm going to read in the video in the thumbnail. Maybe you don't even know what I read in it, but I did accomplish this goal. Every single month I read at least 2. Most months it was 3 to 4 books that I just read on my own time. I didn't try to fit into a vlog, and then I still got to make a review for it. And in fact, it was a lengthier review. And oftentimes when I was reading things outside of videos, those were my favorites of the month. So it was nice that I felt like I had the time to really talk through what they actually were in the wrap up time. And this is how I'm going to go forward with this in the future. I love the way that I do wrap-ups now. They don't make me feel like, oh my God, I have to sit here and talk about 25 books and summarize them in just a couple of sentences. And like, I get that that's part of being a book reviewer. I don't think I'm a book reviewer. I think I'm a content creator. And if you learn something along the way about the book or you get an idea of what it is, then that's great. But I find it daunting to have to try to sound smart about a book, and I didn't want to force myself to attempt to do that in 2025, and I was happier for it. Number 10 is a personal goal, and it's to leave the country at some point in the year. Okay, I moved on from that really fast. Unfortunately, I don't want to blame it on one specific thing, but I do think Liam's health this year was unexpected, something that we were trudging through and still are trudging through. And I just didn't think that going, because like the times where we would have gone out of the country for a trip would have been like a summer vacation. And that was a really bad time for us, or winter break. This is a really bad time currently. Liam's about to do a bunch of different, he's going to be admitted into the hospital for a chunk of days at a time in order to get a certain thing done. And it's so interesting thinking back like a year ago, how I couldn't have imagined what this year was going to bring. I do think that we will end up in Mexico as a family within this year. Like, I would like to make that a goal. I would like to go on a trip. I would especially like to take Liam out of the country and have him just maybe take a friend with it. I don't really know. And just to have like a fun week somewhere. We did, I will say, have our first plane ride as a family, the 3 of us on a plane together. We went to Edmonton. That was Liam's like little birthday trip because it didn't feel like it was too far away. It didn't feel like it would do anything too detrimental to him. And we had a couple days at West Edmonton Mall. So we didn't go to the country, but we did go out of the province. So another goal failed, but maybe within the next year. I don't think I'm going to do a goal video for 2026. I don't know. I don't know what's to come. Number 11 is to read 10 things from my TBR closet because I'm not making a list. Oh my God. I put a number down? Things that I want to read here. I don't have a specific TBR. What? I don't have 25 books that I want to read for my TBR shelf by the end of the year. Maybe I have posted that on Instagram by now, but in this moment, all I know is I want to read some things from my TBR closet. Okay, I did in fact do 25 and 25. I didn't complete my 25 and 25, which I shouldn't have done to begin with because like I don't know what I'm gonna want to read, but I feel like, I don't know, participating in the fun little Instagram challenges. See, I don't even know at this point from this picture which one was from my TBR closet versus from my TBR shelf. I think Harrow the Ninth was in there. Behold the Dreamer was in there. All This and More for sure. Maybe all my Veronica Speedwell were in the closet. Future Home of the Living God. And then didn't I do a video where I read things that had been in my TBR for like 10 years? The Appeal, The Breakup Pact, Camp Zero. Okay, I did it. And don't fear, because there is going to be a TBR closet series in 2026 where once a month, almost once a month, we're going to be in my TBR closet picking like 3 to 5 books every time. But I did accomplish it. Thank goodness I only said 10. Number 12 is to cycle sync. Make my life and my work revolve more around my hormones. Absolutely. Yeah, this was something I'm not going to say like it completely changed my life, but I think it was an interesting experiment. It's something that has just become a part of what I do. My work-life balance is more in sync with my hormones now. And I think that's really cool because at this point she just had an idea. Number 13 is to be more consistent making TikToks and Reels because I do enjoy short form content. I like throwing it together, but I need to make like a schedule for myself the way that I do for my YouTube videos. Yeah, once again, it's really easy to accomplish things at the beginning of the year when there's all of this motivation and I want to accomplish something. I'm not gonna lie, like it is not the most fulfilling situation because like I can't monetize TikTok. You can't, and I could do sponsorships and ads and stuff, but if I don't even do that here, I'm not going to do that on TikTok. But Canadians don't make money off of TikTok. Like YouTube, I place ads, YouTube places ads, and that generates an income. On TikTok, there's nothing like that. And even if I were to be a part of the Creator Fund, that is such a scary thing to participate in because like you aren't in control. Like you're not placing ads. You're not in control of who sees your content and how it's pushed out the same way that YouTube is. But there's obviously so many good things that comes out of short form and like you can reach a broader audience and you can get really lucky there. But not being able to monetize it at all does make it difficult to prioritize short form content. And like maybe I could start posting them on YouTube too. I know every time I post one or I talk about my TikTok, because I do post them occasionally, people are always like, post it on YouTube too. And I just, unless I'm going to be consistent with shorts, like I don't want to start posting them and I don't want it to be a repeat of what I've already talked about on YouTube. And most of what I post on TikTok or Reels is repeated stuff that you've already gotten from my YouTube. But I did post every single month. Some months I posted like every single week. And I started little series that I abandoned. Like I started doing weekly reading updates and then I started doing weekly going to the bookstore and putting all of the new releases out there. And it was interesting at the time for me to do and experiment with. My passion for it ebbs and flows. I guess that's what I would say. And because everything I'm doing takes up like all of my time already, it's difficult for me to add consistent short form unique content. But I'm gonna keep posting it. Like maybe I'll find my groove with it. I don't know. Number 14 is to read more mysteries. Oh my God. I really need to find my love of mysteries again, mysteries and thrillers. And I hope that by the end of the year, I have found some bangers because in this moment I am struggling. I don't think I have found bangers. In fact, I think there's only one thriller this entire year that I gave 5 stars. Yeah, but I did read a lot of 4 stars. So again, once I actually do my stats and I look at everything side by side, I would be able to tell you if this year was more successful for mysteries than last year, because I know every single year it's kind of gotten worse and worse. They just don't interest me anymore. Like the plots are not intriguing to me. And I'm just really glad that though I did read more mystery and thriller books when I started, that was never like, there was never one genre that was the core of my channel. I've always read a variety of things and that makes me happy. Like I'm not trying to chase, you know, what people have want. Like people say they want more mystery thrillers for recommendations for me and I totally get that and I agree, which is why I read them so I can tell you what you might like. But at least I'm not in a place where it was like I was reading 20 of them a month and now I'm reading like 2. Every synopsis kind of sounds the same and there's maybe 10 to 20 that I get really excited about reading and I read those and I think a lot of times they go well enough. So I'm happy with the 4-star ones that I found and that's okay for now. Number 15, ugh, I don't want to say that, no. Okay, number 15 was going to be write more written reviews. That's crazy. I talked myself out of that goal. I would say I wrote more written reviews just as far as rather than just posting my rating, I post like a sentence alongside a lot of the books I really like. And that's enough for me. My actual goal, personal goal, is to try out some new glasses in 2025. Hopefully I did that. Okay, I should have just stuck with the first fucking thing I said because I did not get new glasses. I like the ones that I have. I like the way that they look. I don't like the way that they feel. I've never had a comfortable pair of glasses. I think I'm just also really sensitive to things. Like I don't want something touching my face all the time. And I appreciate the people who've been helping to remind me to wear them at night. I have not been doing a good job of that. I have tried and failed. And I was going to see like if I got quite a few emails this year from like glasses companies who wanted to sponsor me or just send me a bunch of things to like share with you how they looked. And maybe I should do that because then I can try a bunch or like days at a time rather than just going on the store and like, I'm like, okay, these fit, I guess. These look okay, I guess. But like actually living with them for a couple days maybe would be a better idea. Number 16 is to pick some Literally Dead Book Club books this year that fit really solidly in their genres. They're not a mix of horror and thriller. They're not a mix of mystery and thriller. Did I do that? Some of the most fun ones that I remember talking about last year were the one that was just a mystery, a literary mystery, the one that was just a thriller without like any mystery in it. I would say, okay, I do think Bat Eater, solidly horror. There wasn't really a ton of mystery and stuff in there. You Are Fatally Invited, maybe that was a proper thriller. Julie Chan is Dead was a mix. Futility was horror fantasy. Eat the Ones You Love was horror fantasy. The Treasure Hunters Club was a mystery. Witchcraft for Wayward Girls was more historical than anything else. I think I did do better at this than other years, but everything was, a lot of things were a blend. My actual goal for the year that I decided, I guess a couple days later, was that I was just going to prioritize things that I really desperately wanted to read, and that's what I picked. I wasn't necessarily just trying to check off a list of qualifications mixed with things I want to read, mixed with things everyone wanted to read. I just kind of picked a lot of new releases that intrigued me because that's what made me excited to talk about. And I did have a lot of lively discussions, so I don't regret a thing. Number 17 is, oh God, to reread The Stand. I wrote this list and yet I'm surprised. Okay, I'll grab it. The fact is, I shouldn't be intimidated by long books. Yeah, rereading The Stand was not as intimidating as I thought. I read it over 3 days. It was really good, everything that I remembered, and I had to do it for a grander video that I think I remember talking about in a second. So definitely accomplished that goal. It's easy to accomplish goals when I know that there's content that's gonna come of it. Number 18 is just to connect with the besties. This is something that has always been really important, and I want to make sure I keep up with it. I keep up with sprints. Number 19, there's a silly video that I want to do in August, and I really hope that I stuck to it because in this moment I have purchased like 20 short story collections, and I hope that by the end of the year I have completed all of these short stories within these collections that I wanted to read to complete this video in August. I think I was being vague for it because this was one of the biggest undertakings of the year, and in the off chance that I didn't complete it, I didn't want to like hype it up to anyone else, including myself, even the besties, and the besties usually get to know everything ahead of time. So thank you so much to the people who did watch that video where I was trying to figure out who wrote each short story in this short story collection, because it was just a labor of love, and I'm glad that everyone recognized it for what it was. Number 20 is to be more in tune with popular releases. This is something that I thought at the end of the year when the Goodreads Choice Awards came up and I had only read, I can't even remember now, was it like 10 books out of the 270 something? And a lot of them went well for me when I read them for the Goodreads Choice Awards video. So I want to do something in the middle of the year where I check in with some of the Goodreads like most popular things. Yeah, I had a video in mind where at the end of the year I read a bunch of Goodreads popular books, and then the middle of the year they put out a bunch of lists that are the best books of the year so far. And I was gonna read from one of those lists, and then I just prioritized other videos. Summer gets so busy, but I did accomplish that goal. I was more in tune with the popular releases. And most of them went well. By the time I did the Goodreads Choice Awards, I had read like 25 things, but in total I had read like 80, 20, 25 releases. And I don't know if that's more or less than other years, but as far as popular ones, I was reading ones that other people were talking about. Like we were all kind of collectively speaking about a bunch of the popular horror and mysteries that were coming out. I felt like I was in tune with what the people were talking about more so than the last couple years. Number 21 is to watch more movies. That's a silly goal of mine, but I rarely take the time to sit down and watch a movie because I'm like, I could be reading right now. I think that that goal was actually like TV and movie kind of related. I wanted to find a show I really liked, and when I was doing the reality show books, I started watching a couple different reality shows, and I really got into Traders, so that was a highlight of the year. As far as movies, oh my God, I'm trying to think of movies. I think I went to the theater like twice. I saw Sinners, which I loved. I remember watching Anyone But You. Yeah, Rob asked me to watch that. One of Them Days I watched. That was a new one that I watched with my besties. That one was good. I watched The Wrong Paris. That one was silly but fun. I really, yeah, when I prioritize movies, I'm watching it with my channel members. Also, Rob and I have such drastically different tastes when it comes to movies that that's just not something that we spend time doing together, unless it's stupid Christmas movies, because that's what we're into in December. And I watch a lot of movies when I'm away at my girls' weekend, but that's kind of like consistent things that I always watch. I wanted to watch more throughout the year, and I don't think that I could say that I did that. When I watch this back, let me know what your favorites of the year have been. Yeah, I guess Sinners and One of Them Days. Number 22 is to complete my 10 years on BookTube series. I'm really excited to complete all of that and do some rereads and read books from like 2014 that I meant to read, and hopefully that hasn't brought down my average rating. Okay. I kind of abandoned the 10 years series. I was supposed to do a video every single month, and I started last November. I think I still did one in October. I don't think I did one in November because this is when I was gonna start rereading, and then I was gonna do a series of like rereading favorites, and then also solidifying all of my favorite books of all time and telling you those. And I didn't have time. The year got away from me at the end, and I couldn't imagine not completing the 10 years series. I feel like in my heart I still completed it, but I didn't like technically. But I think like we collectively got everything that we needed out of the video series after like the 5th or 6th video. It was like, okay, we've reflected enough. I've talked about everything from the last 10 years. I've talked about exactly who I was 10 years ago, what I was reading. I did read things from my TBR that had been on there for a selection of years. So I'm gonna say I succeeded, just not to the level that I anticipated I would. Number 23, I'm just gonna say a video plan of mine, and that's a dragon vlog. I'm gonna do a dragon vlog, and hopefully that all went well. It did not go well, but I did read a selection of dragon books like everyone's been telling me to. They weren't all the new popular things. There was a selection of things that I think I was set up to like, and I didn't so much. So yeah, next we're gonna do a tentacle vlog. Number 24 is to complete my Reddit vlog, because people have been talking to me about that lately, where I was getting book recommendations and giving book recommendations based on aesthetic boards. That one also didn't go well. Like, I didn't love a lot of those, but that video is what led me into reading more romantasy, because I was like, okay, I'm getting an idea of things that I like, but I need I need some more feeling in it. So then I moved into the romantasy exploration, and that I think will continue into 2026, because I'm having a good time figuring out what I like in that arena. And then number 25 is to balance my fun with clickable things. And I think that's kind of always the goal for me on BookTube. I always want to do videos that I'm interested in and themes that I'm interested in. And then it's like a little bonus if it's something that could potentially be on trend, or it's something that people outside of my direct subscribers would click on. I think I find that balance occasionally, but it would be nice if there was like a video every month that I felt successfully completed that goal. I'm glad I explained that, because the thing on the bingo board just says balance relevancy. I don't know if relevancy is the right word. Do I think there was a video every month that accomplished that for me? No, not really. I think I prioritized things that I wanted to make. Like maybe the Reddit video because like other people are on Reddit. Yeah, the sentient object romance, that was definitely a talking point at the time, and that was fun to explore. I think the GeoGuessr video, like not everyone's talking about GeoGuessr these days, but that one was relatively clickable. Doing the romantasy videos, maybe I would consider as a part of that, like the reality TV show one. But I don't think there was anything specifically like pop culture related that I honed in on. And I actually don't mind it. There were videos this year that did better than I could have expected. There were videos that did worse than I could have expected. And just generally, I had fun making all of these. And that should have been my number one goal for 2025. Like I didn't even know I needed that as a goal. That was my goal in the back of my head when everything else is like chaotic in the world and in my life. I just want to make this a super fun place. And I think that especially was true for 2025 when I'm changing up my wrap-ups, reading things I want to read, picking books and making it fit into a vlog rather than the other way around. I didn't read a whole bunch of books I had never heard of this year, but the ones that I did, it was for a reason and it was fun to explore. And I just had a whole lot of fun. I don't think I'm going to do a goal video for next year. And I will see you tomorrow with another one.